Good morning, Michael Walsh and Roger Norgel here, Norwal Farm. It is Thursday, December the 12th, and we woke up to minus 3 degrees here in Wisconsin, having a cold snap. It's supposed to be 40 and rain by the weekend, so a little different plan today. I'm going to actually feed the sheep and goats some baled hay. I think the baleage is going to be pretty well frozen this morning. So anyway, we'll get that started and get chores done. One thing I hadn't anticipated was this real cold weather. The baleage left and the feeder froze, so I tossed it out here on the ground and they're eating it. We're going to feed some baled hay today because it's really cold. We changed the harness on John, and this ewe here got marked, and I noticed she had a bloody discharge the day we turned him in. So she had a miscarriage. Don't know why. That happens sometimes. But the rest of them look good. We're pulling up here. I brought a large bale of alfalfa hay down, and I'm just going to pull off, one or two slabs at a time, stick in the feeder for them. It's dry hay, so they'll be able to eat it really well. And it's really high test hay too. It's really high in protein and energy. So we'll get that done. All the hay feeders filled. They don't like the dry hay as well as the baleage, but they're eating it. Put some inside here in these feeders too. So this will last them through the day, probably till tomorrow. He's at it again. Picked up our grain order today. I've unloaded about half of it. Got 1,000 pounds of grain mix for the pregnant ewes. It's for gestation and lactation once they have their lambs and while they're milking. So 1,000 pounds. That'll last us a little over, probably about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. So storing it in these plastic barrels or garbage cans keeps the birds and mice out of it. So finish unloading that. Pre-ordered some goat kid milk replacer. They ran a special on it. If I don't use it all, I can send it back any unopened bags. But this was, I think, on special for $81 for 50 pounds. And last year, the brand I was buying was $65 for 25 pounds. So it was a considerable savings. So hopefully we don't have as many bottle babies, but if we do, then we're stocked up on some milk replacer. So I'll finish unloading this and get things put away. Got them all unloaded. We had to put 3 bags in, and you settle it. And then each one of them held 3 bags, so I had 2 bags left over. And so I just rounded these up and just shook the barrel a little bit, settled it down. So got it all in there and got it covered. We'll start feeding this grain tomorrow. Got a mixture of cracked corn and roasted soybeans, whole oats. Then there's liquid molasses and dry molasses in there. And there's an additive and medication called Bovatec. It prevents coccidiosis, so that's in there as well. But they really like this. They eat it well, and it's worked well for us. Spread some hay out on the ground too, so they can all get into it. The goats kind of protect the feeders. They prefer the baleage over the dry hay. I think the baleage is probably sweeter. It smells sweeter, but they're eating this pretty well. And the dry hay per bite, there's more nutrition per bite because there's less moisture. So this will last them longer than the baleage. So this should last them through till tomorrow. So thanks for joining us today at Norwal Farm. It's a beautiful winter day, even though it's pretty cold. I know other parts of the country are even colder than this, but I just wish it would moderate and stay in the high 20s and stay frozen. But got to take what we get. So thanks again for joining us at Norwal Farm.